Today in Portland, Oregon, brace yourselves. We've got a mix of chaos and a tiny shred of hope on the horizon.
I'm Vixie Steele.
Welcome to Loud and Local with Vixie Steele in Portland. First up, and it's a gut punch. The Women's Residential Treatment Center in Northeast, run by Volunteers of America, Oregon, abruptly shut its doors on April 8th, leaving nearly 50 women told to pack it up. They closed late on a Friday before a holiday weekend. Of course, because why not make a crisis even crueler? The reason? Internal failures around medication handling and safety protocols. Translation, critical safeguards failed and they yanked the brakes. Listen, we're in an opioid wave. You cannot just boot people mid-treatment and expect them to magically land somewhere safe. There are already reports of women relapsing, and some are facing legal heat because their treatment was court-ordered. Alternatives are thin as paper. The Oregon Health Authority has no comment on licensing or compliance, which is just brilliant timing, mate. VOA says they're using April to fix operations, but there's no set reopening date. Look, this closure is a disaster. You can't claim to care about recovery and then strand people on the curb. Set up emergency beds, guarantee medication continuity, coordinate with courts, and publish a timeline for reopening. Otherwise, it's just another system shrugging while women fall through the cracks. Bloody hell. Moving on, before I break something, environmental advocates just torched City Hall's so-called investigation into Zenith Energy. On April 13th, 8 organisations marched a letter into Mayor Keith Wilson's office, saying the probe had an artificially narrow scope that basically guaranteed a clean bill of health. The city hired Cable Houston in September 2025, and they dropped a report on February 19th saying Zenith is in compliance with its franchise agreement. Except, the investigation still turned up illegal construction and the use of new piping to move fuels without notifying the city. The findings say this happened at least 34 times over 3 years, and even got DEQ involved. DEQ fines were more than $370,000. Advocates say key information was walled off, conflicts of interest weren't addressed, and data sharing was a joke. I mean, if that's compliance, what does non-compliance look like? A refinery in your living room. This investigation looks like it was built to lose. Portland cannot claim climate leadership while playing patter cake with fossil fuel operators. Publish the full record, define a scope with teeth, install independent oversight, and fix the franchise so violations trigger real penalties. Otherwise, it's a joke, and it's costing us the environment. All right, let's keep this train wreck rolling. NW Metals, the North Portland scrapyard with a decade plus of violations, is back in the crosshairs. DEQ's hit them with more enforcement and fines. The tab over the years is more than $550,000. History includes a 5-alarm fire back in 2018 on Killingsworth, which lit a fire under lawmakers too. Senate Bill 792 followed, and tougher scrapyard rules took effect on January 1st, 2020. And yet, business as usual. Multiple sites, repeated non-compliance, still operating without proper permits at times. It's regulated by a patchwork of DEQ, ODOT, and city agencies, and everything falls between the cracks. The message to chronic violators is basically, pay the fine and keep the engine running. Honestly, what fresh disaster is this? If fines don't change behaviour, escalate. Yank permits, shut the gate, clean the mess, and send the bill. Okay, here's something worth talking about. TriMet is trying to fix 82nd Avenue with bus priority lanes, business access and transit lanes to be specific. This corridor is chaos. Line 72 is Oregon's highest ridership bus line, and it crawls during peak. The plan aims to make rides faster and safer, with completion eyed for 2029. The catch? They still need at least $8 million more locally to unlock about $150 million in federal money. Credit where it's due. The Portland Clean Energy Community Benefits Fund has already kicked in $48 million. Respect where it's due. Now line up the rest without raiding basic services. And for the love of transit, design the lanes to actually move buses. Signal priority, camera enforcement, clear rules for turning, and concrete where it counts. Finally, a project that might actually improve the commute. Don't let it die over 8 damn million. Last up, a reality check. Portland State University's Homelessness Research and Action Collaborative just dropped the Pathways study. It surveyed 541 people over 9 months. 98% want permanent housing, but they fear losing it because it's unaffordable. The top requested supports were rent assistance, legal help, and job finding support. That's what people actually asked for. Not lectures, not sweeps, not city-sanctioned whack-a-mole. About those sweeps, 40% said they were involuntarily displaced in the last 6 to 12 months. Every sweep scatters IDs, meds, work gear, contact lists. It nukes stability. The study was co-designed with people who've lived it, including the Trees Committee, so spare me the armchair takes. Since 1983, we've had joint plans on homelessness, and we're still treating symptoms like it's a whack-a-mole problem. Pay the rent support. Stop breaking what little stability people build. Scale legal aid. And fund actual placements. It's clear people want stability, not handouts. Direct rent assistance isn't charity. It's cheaper than shelter roulette and court costs. I shouldn't have to say this, but here we fucking are. Do the obvious thing. Measure outcomes and stop pretending tents vanish because you bark at them. Jesus Christ. And that's today's dose of reality from Loud and Local with Vixie Steele in Portland. Go do something useful, and we'll catch you tomorrow.